A lot of times when we first meet somebody, we hear their name, we like to ask, where are you from? Where are you from? And they might say, well, I'm from Green Bay, Wisconsin, or I'm from Sioux City, Iowa. And if they're not necessarily here at college, somebody else might say, you're from, and they might say, well, I'm from Europe. And then we'll say, oh, where in Europe? And they say, well, I'm from England. Wow, you're from England. And who's your friend? Where are they from? Well, they're from Bulgaria. Where is someone from is a very curious question to us. And we feel like we get to know somebody. What would it be like if you said, hey, where are you from? And they said, well, what does it matter? You'd be like, where they're from gives us some information, and the information helps us get to know them, and so to love them and call them friend. Well, there's something to this kind of conversation in the gospel today. I mean, Pilate is saying to Jesus, where are you from? Are you the king of the Jews? Are you from the Jews? And Jesus says back to him, why do you ask? Why do you ask? Did someone tell you that? Or did you come up that on your own? Did you come up with that by yourself? Well, if he had come up with it by himself, that would be pretty striking. That would have been something like Peter saying to Jesus, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. He would have faith. But Pilate didn't say that. There is a unique tradition in the Coptic faith. The Coptics are from Egypt, and they actually believe Pontius Pilate became a saint. They say Saint Pontius Pilate. Now, if you ever heard that, it's the Coptics. Well, there's this little question going back and forth, and if someone were to say to us, well, guess where I'm from, instead of just telling us, you might think, well, let's see here. You've kind of got a square jaw. Let's see. I think you're Eastern European. Are you from Russia? And say, well, no. Or maybe if they look kind of tan, not white, not black, you say, well, you got that beautiful skin tone. I think you might be from India. Well, they said, guess. Pontius Pilate, guess. Where are you from? Where am I from? Well, what if a Christian said, guess? Guess if I'm a Christian or not. How would we know if that person was from God? If they were truly Christian? Well, let's see. I see that you're a very loving person. You're very kind. You pray. And I think Jesus, in some measure, was testing the knowledge of Pilate. Can you guess where I'm from? Can you guess who I am? Can you see that I am a king? That I have a kingdom, not of this world? Pilate, can you see it? Well, maybe Pilate became a saint in the end. Coptics believe it. I hope so. Where are we from? Maybe you are from Wisconsin. Maybe you are from Bloomington. Maybe your ancestry comes from France, born of parents who immigrated here. But most importantly, if you can say, I am begotten from above. I am from, if you will, heaven. I am baptized and born anew. So yes, I am from Wisconsin, and I was born there in a hospital in Green Bay. And yes, I came to this college, and my parents' ancestry is French. But can you say, above all that, the most important thing, I have my name written in heaven. I am an ambassador of the kingdom. I was reading about two stories this week. One was Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde was from Ireland, and he was born in 1854, died in 1900, kind of young, 46 years old. Grew up in Dublin. Was very good in college. In fact, he received an award for being the best Greek scholar at Trinity College in Dublin. He would go on to Oxford and study the classics. So he wrote plays and a novel, poems. He had a wife, 2 children, although he later went on to have an affair with a man and wrote a play. His most famous book, Dorian Gray, The Portrait of Dorian Gray. It's kind of this novel about a man who wished that his portrait would grow old, but he could stay young and kind of live a sinful life. Oscar Wilde did that. Well, the father of this other man found out about it and said something to Oscar, and Oscar took him to court for libel and lost the case and ended up in prison for 2 years. And finally, when he was let out, he ended up in France, away from his home country of Ireland. His plays were kind of satire and somewhat dark, although he was a promoter of the aesthetic movement, beauty. He was very much into beauty. A lot of people don't know, at the end of his life, Oscar Wilde was baptized and received all the sacraments on his deathbed in France. He was bankrupt. In the end, a friend called a priest. He said, I don't know if I was baptized or not. Parents were Anglican, so he was conditionally baptized, received the sacraments, and died there. Where was Oscar Wilde from, I say? Well, in the end, based on the last data, we say, I think Oscar Wilde's a man of heaven. That's how he finished, even though he lived a very worldly life before. The other person I read about was Sister Mary Ann Cope, who was named a saint of the church recently. She was born in West Germany. Family moved to New York City when she was 1 year old, one of 10 children. Father became very ill. After 8th grade, she went to work in a factory, helped support the family. She wanted to join a religious order, Sisters of St. Francis, but she had to wait because she had to help the family. Finally, age 24, she did. Became a religious sister, received a letter from a priest asking if she would come to Hawaii to minister to lepers. Something in her heart was stirred with compassion. So she went to Hawaii, and she actually met Father St. Damien, the leper who died serving the lepers. She served him the last couple of years of his life. And she died in this little section of Hawaii. I went to her grave. And I saw this white monument on this little edge of the island in Hawaii where all the lepers were kind of cast. And I knelt in front of this little monument. She was not declared a saint yet, but I knew she was holy and served in love. And I asked for her prayers for me and those I love. And then this last year, she's now declared a saint. I'm like, wow. Where is Sister Mary Ann Cope from? Is she from West Germany? Is she from New York? She's now buried in Hawaii. Well, my rhetorical question is meant to lead us to this ultimate thought. The next time you meet somebody new and you say to them, where are you from? Like Pontius Pilate asking Jesus, are you the King of the Jews? Wouldn't it be wonderful if we would say, well, yeah, I'm from Germany or I'm from Wisconsin, but you know what? I want to be from heaven. I want to be a man or a woman of heaven. I want my greatest identity to be a son or daughter of the King. Yeah, I'm a member of a kingdom, and Christ has given me his kingly powers, and so I offer sacrifice for him. I rule the dominion of my body for him. I exercise charity and hospitality for him. A member of the kingdom.